There's a specific kind of relationship that doesn't feel calm. It feels intense, magnetic, emotionally consuming. One moment you feel deeply connected, the next you feel anxious, uncertain, emotionally alone. You replay conversations, you wait for their replies, you overthink the tone, you tell yourself you're too much for wanting closeness, while also feeling confused about why love feels so hard. If you ever felt addicted to someone who couldn't meet you emotionally, or emotionally overwhelmed by someone who needed more than you could give, this episode is for you. Because what you may be experiencing isn't love. It's a nervous system bond between anxious attachment and avoiding attachment. And it can feel powerful, but it's not peaceful. Anxious attachment looks like wanting reassurance, craving closeness, feeling unsettled by emotional distance, overthinking silence, feeling responsible for the emotional temperature of the relationship. Avoiding attachment looks like pulling away when things feel emotionally intense, needing space to regulate, feeling overwhelmed by closeness, minimizing emotional needs, shutting down when vulnerability is required. Neither is bad. Both are adaptations the nervous system learned to survive relationships early in life. But when these two patterns meet, something happens. The anxious partner feels activated by distance, the avoidant partner feels activated by closeness. And that push and pull creates emotional intensity. Intensity creates attachment, not because the relationship is healthy, but because the nervous system interprets unpredictability as significance. When connection is inconsistent, the body stays alert. Alert feels like urgency. Urgency feels like importance. So the relationship feels deep, when in reality, the nervous system is in a constant state of emotional arousal. This is not emotional safety, this is emotional activation. People often say, I've never felt this kind of connection before. It's intense, it's passionate, it's different. But nervous system activation can mimic chemistry. When love is calm, consistent, and emotionally safe, it can feel unfamiliar to a system used to chaos. So stability can feel boring at first, and inconsistency can feel exciting. Not because it's healthy, but because the nervous system is seeking what it knows. In anxious avoidant dynamics, one person feels like they're chasing closeness, the other feels like they're defending space. Both end up emotionally exhausted. The anxious partner starts shrinking their needs. The avoidant partner starts feeling pressure by needs they don't understand how to meet. Neither person feels fully seen, neither feels emotionally safe. Both feel confused about why the connection feels so strong but so unstable. This is not intimacy. Over time, this dynamic teaches you to doubt your needs, to question your emotional instincts, to normalize inconsistency, to work for basic emotional presence, to equate emotional attention with love, and slowly, your nervous system learns that love requires anxiety. That closeness requires emotional discomfort. That connection means self abandonment. This is how patterns repeat. Not because you are broken, but because your nervous system is trying to resolve an old wound in a new relationship. Healing doesn't mean becoming less emotional. It means becoming more regulated. It means learning how to tolerate calm, how to recognize emotional safety, how to feel connection without urgency, how to let consistency feel familiar. It means noticing when your nervous system is activated and choosing stability instead of intensity. Not because intensity is bad, but because peace is the foundation of secure love. The shift begins when you stop asking, how do I make them stay? And start asking, how does this relationship make my body feel over time? Do you feel calm? Do you feel grounded? Do you feel emotionally safe? Do you feel respected without having to explain your worth? Secure love feels steady. It does not create emotional highs followed by emotional withdrawal. It does not require chasing presence. It does not require suppressing needs to keep a connection. At some point, the healed version of you stops being attracted to emotional unavailability. Not because you became cold, but because your nervous system learned that love doesn't have to hurt to be real. You stop craving intensity, you start craving consistency. You stop mistaking emotional tension for connection. You start recognizing emotional safety as intimacy, and that is growth. If this episode resonated, let this be a moment of awareness, not self judgment. You were not too much. You were responding to emotional inconsistency with a nervous system that wanted safety. And now, you are learning to choose differently. You are learning to recognize peace. You are learning to regulate before you attach. You are learning to build connection without losing yourself. That is not weakness. That is healing. If this helped you see your patterns more clearly, save this episode. Come back to it when your nervous system wants to repeat what feels familiar instead of what feels safe. You are allowed to choose calm. You're allowed to choose steady. You're allowed to choose a love that does not require emotional survival. And that choice is how you break the chain. And I am very proud of you for being here today. So let's keep healing and growing together, and I'll see you here tomorrow. Bye.